Wednesday Q&A, where you guys ask us questions and we answer them. And as I always say, welcome, and you've made it to another Wheel Wednesday, so congratulations to you, and thank you for being here with us as we appreciate you guys so much. And just as a reminder, we do have a podcast going up in an hour or so, and the podcast is does modding your car decrease the value of that car? Now, my opinion on that is if you do it tastefully, if you do it correctly, it does not. But that could change for other people. Yeah, for me specifically, if you do it good and you do it with good taste, honestly, it can up the value.
You could argue, you could make that argument. Depending on the mods you do, you could increase the value.
That's what I'm saying.
Car, right?
You know what I mean? It's just really depending. There's a lot of people who grab a car and just tear it apart, and then all of a sudden it becomes a transformer, and it's not the same car anymore. And you're putting in things that you shouldn't be putting it in, and you're YouTubing stuff. It starts to look like a crazy piece of thing. And
well, I don't know about you, but I don't want to buy someone else's project car.
that's what I'm saying.
I want to buy an untouched, 99 Civic.
Yeah,
that a grandma had, one owner.
Like I like how when people do it little by little, they add things on, they try to do their research and just, put a little bit of sprinkle on it like that. That's when I start to say, okay, this person's really doing it with good taste, and it ups the value. But hey, that's subjective. There's also project cars out there that are, people really want to pay all that money for. You know what I mean? And maybe they're extremely fast and things like that. So, anyways, I could rant on and on, but there's a podcast going on where we discuss it. And join the conversation, comment below, comment in the video as well, because we want to hear what you guys got to say about it as well. As well as this Friday, we're dropping a piece of content where we're doing a car anatomy with my man Caleb Quanback.
Dope E46.
Yeah, he has an E46, Drift E46, where we spent a day with him in New Jersey.
LS swap.
And he has an LS swap in there. We basically break down everything. Well, they break down everything of what they got in the car and all that. You don't want to miss that one, so make sure to tune into our YouTube channel, KONIG Wheels, at KONIG Wheels on YouTube. So make sure to drop those questions below. I'll do my best to answer them as best as I can. I know Scott will probably pop in the air for the more difficult questions that I can't answer, but I'll do my best.
Damn, CLT Brian in the house.
Yo, shout out to CLT Brian, man, in the house.
He says, gonna miss you guys at Hyperfest this weekend. Hyperfest is this weekend?
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it's tough when it comes to events for us this year.
It's a good event.
We got a lot of, obviously you guys know, with the tariffs and all that stuff, we're trying to just prep properly. And we want to release wheels for you guys. And with that comes a lot of work, a lot of effort. And that's what we're doing over here in the back end, trying to make sure that you guys have those wheels in front of you guys. And then once that clears up, we're definitely going to be showing up to events this year. We're definitely going to do Formula Drift New Jersey and other ones. And just stay tuned.
Julio Real asks, can we see Hyperspec?
Yes, we can.
Actually, it's right there above your head on the left.
There's this one right here with the machine lip.
Yeah,
I love that.
sweet.
That wheel's so sweet. And then we have the other one over here, the bronze one, looking as good as ever. You know what I mean? But yeah, those should be coming out. From what I know so far, we're looking at about a June date that we're gonna release those suckers.
Yeah, I think it's sweet.
But yeah, as I always tell you guys, make sure to reach out to your local dealers, and they'll give you more information as far as like when sizes are coming out, as we receive them as well.
We got, what's that wheel with the black stripe? Actually, take that thing off, because that's right there.
Oh.
The Aris, it has a wheel protector on it. The rim, there you
Funny, I
go.
was taking
So we could,
pictures of it, and I'm like, why? I didn't even
this is for
realize
photo
it was on there.
purposes, yeah.
Yeah, it's just to protect it. So
It's when we ship the wheel, we ship it
this
with
is
that.
actually the Aries.
Ooh, pick it up. That thing is,
Yeah, let me show you guys.
thing
It
is-
actually has a really
actually,
cool
wait,
engraving
should we
compared
be
to the
showing
other
them
one.
this?
I mean,
Yeah, we showed them last week.
check it out.
Ooh.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
This is the
It's a nice
Aries.
wheel.
We're dropping sizes. If you haven't been on the site lately, we actually have all the information is on there as well as some different wheel images and angles of the wheel. The Aries is a really good looking wheel. We made it specifically for some specific type of builds out there that are looking for something more sleek, more clean. And I'm excited for this one as well, man.
Brian says, paint it yellow and sell the wheels to Mopar guys. I could see it. That's
I
kind
can
of
see
the
it,
spokiness.
hey.
Yeah.
I get you, bro.
That's a nice wheel, though. Someone asked, flow formed or forged?
So it's flow formed. And yeah, one of the details that is different from this one than the other ones is, if you look at it real quick, you see,
Damn, you're acting like that's a heavy wheel. That
It
thing
is kind
that
of a
thing's-
heavy wheel
that
for
ain't
me because
heavy.
I'm weak.
That thing is nice. Yeah,
But it's
the details.
actually engraved in lowercase full form, which I think adds a little bit of a touch there. A little bit
That's
of
only
difference.
something you'd appreciate.
I don't know. I really, I'm a big typography guy, so
Yeah.
when you do things differently and it makes it different than the other wheels, honestly, I would put them on just because of that, because it's like, oh, my wheel
But
is different than yours.
more importantly, they're lightweight and they're strong.
I got
And
you.
they look
That
good.
too, that too.
KRM, our guy up in the Netherlands, says, "What's up, guys? I'm watching from the hospital today."
Oh man,
Damn, what up,
Karen,
bro?
I hope
You
you're
good?
okay, man. We never like to hear anybody being in the hospital, so
That sucks.
I hope you're okay, man.
First Air Motorsports, we love our heliograms.
I love to
Nice.
hear it, man. What finish you have? What size you have?
what
and
car is it
what
on?
did you put it on?
Nice.
Actually, that's very interesting to know.
Hector says, how big of a wheel would be okay to have on a stock vehicle without having to modify? I have 205, 65, 16. We need to know what the car
Yeah,
you're talking about
let us
is.
know what car. I mean, usually, I'm gonna go with as far as like, side like 18-inch. You know what I mean? Is where I would say was
Totally
safe.
depends on the.
But it
Totally
yeah,
depends.
exactly
No,
what
no,
you
no.
said.
Totally
Totally
depends on the
depends on the
car.
car.
Totally depends on the car. And actually, if you watch some of our wheel fitment videos, the fit check videos, there's certain sizes where you can just change out the wheel size and maintain your tire size.
There
So
you go.
it just depends. But let us know what car we might be able to help you out. KRM says, I'm doing fine. I'm only visiting a friend. Oh,
okay,
man, you're
okay.
you're teasing
Well,
us.
I hope your friend is okay as
Yeah.
well, because we never want to hear, someone being in the hospital. It's just never a good thing for us, and we send our well wishes to your friend.
Yeah, shout out KRM and your friend. Hector says 2020 Optima is the vehicle that's in question. So we don't have an episode on that one, but maybe
Yeah.
send us a DM.
Yeah, send us over a DM and we'll give you more information as far as like what size you can go with, because like Max said, it really just depends on
Totally depends on the car.
what you're doing is, and even you're given tire sizes, so it's a little bit more specific when it comes to
Well,
that.
like consider my car takes 15s, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Dow car takes 18s,
Yeah.
right? So totally depend on the car. KRM, does your friend need Konig wheels? Asks Brian.
Yeah, does your friend put wheels on?
Probably. Who doesn't need Konig wheels? Come on. KRM still needs Konig wheels on his RS6 Avant.
Yeah, what's up with
I
that,
hope
man?
that
I know
thing's
you've been
doing
talking
well.
about it for a while. We
Thing's
haven't seen no
sweet.
Koenig wheels on it yet.
Let's see. It'd be nice to get your friend a get well present. There you go, KRM. Hook your boy up. He's watching right now.
CLT
Yeah,
Brian,
hope you get better.
doing the Lord's work over here.
Let's see. Do you guys have hyperspec updates?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so as far as we know right now, sizes should be rolling in next month. So just stay tuned. I know before things are being, tossed around just because of tariffs and all that stuff and shipments and all that being delayed and all that. But June, it looks like June we're starting to roll them in. So make sure to check in with your local dealer. They'll give you better details, especially if you pre-order them and all that.
Molly24 says, I love the new website. Nice.
Oh,
Hey,
thank you
somebody
for
noticed.
noticing.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing. Yeah, we're trying our best with that, We're doing a lot of work in the back end here when it comes to the website. So I'm glad that you feel it is optimal for you as well.
CLT Brian says, are we doing a podcast today?
Yes. So
We are.
today's podcast, we're talking about does modifying your car devalue it
When you go to resell.
when
Yeah.
you go to resell it?
I think
So,
it probably in most cases it does.
This is a great
I would think it
discussion.
does.
I actually really like this discussion because sometimes it can, sometimes it can't. I think me and Max were talking about it earlier where, if you do it in good taste, if you do it with proper modifications and it's not really damaging the car, I think that it ups the value. But there's a lot of people who buy their cars and they treat it like it's a piece of crap, and all of a sudden they're putting things that they shouldn't be putting in,
and then they go to sell
adding
it.
things that they shouldn't go with it, and all of a sudden they're selling it and it's devalued.
And it's got
in
all
general.
these crappy mods that
Yeah.
were, ragtag put together.
Yeah, that's a really good conversation to have. I think it's really dependent on the person and what they put into their car. And that's
CLT
just-
Brian says it well. It really depends on the cars and the mods.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
There's so many ways you can go about modifying your car, and I think with good taste and really valuing your car, you could really up the value, in my opinion.
Gabriel says, hi guys, have you guys received that A-profile hyperspec that you could show us? I don't think
that's an
so.
A
I think-
profile, right?
No,
a
it's
little-
it's
Yeah,
it's a
not
B profile.
that I have that we
Oh,
have
actually,
here.
you know what?
We might. I just don't know where it is, and honestly, We might have
Nah,
some,
that's a big
we
problem.
might have some pictures on the website. If we don't, DM us and I will try to find one and send you a picture.
OTW, on the
Yes.
way.
On the way.
Car Garage Media says hi.
Hi,
What's up, Car Garage Media? Let's see, we got Abdil, hello from India. What's
Shout
up,
out to
Abdil?
India,
Nice.
man. I was actually just over in that area in Delhi. So shout out to
Yeah, what's the
homies.
Indian car scene like? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
what is
Like,
the
what are you
Indian
guys
car
driving
scene?
over there? I don't know anything about Indian car scene.
Yeah, man. It's funny when you travel a little bit, as you know, Max. There's so many different type of cars out there, specific to specific regions. So I think it's really cool to hear what is a popular car out there opposed to like an American.
I bet you the modding community over there is pretty crazy because there's no EPA in India.
Right,
there's
right,
no
right.
there's no NHTSA or there's
Yeah.
they're just. Let's see, we got CLT Brian. Me personally, I made money on my last Subaru Forester where I did the whole off-road build with 2 bumpers, nice,
Nice.
rear tire swing mount, lift kit, etc. I made 4,500 profit even with all those mods. Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm
did,
saying.
did those mods, are you including those mods in the $4,500 profit? Does it offset or was it more expensive to
True.
include those mods?
Well, and I think, knowing Brian for all these years, you do things in good taste. You do
Yeah.
it for function. You know what I mean? I noticed that you don't overdo it, whereas some people overdo them and they overdrive their car and they push it to the limit and all of a sudden it's a piece of crap.
Yeah,
So,
Brian, you keeping the Civic or what?
Yeah,
I
from
think-
what I've known from Brian, you've always done it in good taste. So.
Nick Coy Howell says Jamaica. What's up,
Shout out
Jamaica?
to Jamaica.
Wagwan.
Actually, the other day,
Wagwan.
I actually had, my friend was like, have a patty with cocoa bread.
Oh, so
That
good.
is the crazy.
Jamaican
it's
patty?
Just literally
Oh, yeah.
a Jamaican patty with a giant loaf of
Yeah.
bread around
It's
it.
basically like
It's
bread
insane.
on bread
Yeah,
with
I,
meat.
I,
in.
I
Yeah.
don't understand that. It's literally just a glob.
I bet you
It's
Jamaican
a
car
heart
scene's
attack
pretty
waiting
good
to
then.
happen. Yeah, that's crazy.
Hector says, good question. My buddy had 1552 wheels on his 17 Fiesta ST, was offered more on stock wheels.
See, that's what
Okay,
I'm saying, man.
makes
And I'm
sense.
telling you, it just really. It's also dependent on the buyer. Maybe the buyer wants something to start with. Maybe they're building something, and having something a little bit more stock will make it easier for them to build something. But if you're giving them something modified already, and it has all these things and crazy stuff going on around it, it makes it less fun to play with. You know what I mean? Because you've already done everything for them. But then there's buyers out there who want that and want to put that on, to show around with friends and all that. So it's also the buyer. It depends on the buyer as well.
Hyperspecs 19-inch.
Hyperspecs 19-inch. Yes, we do have them in 19-inch.
Blueberry in the house saying, hey boys. What's up, Blueberry?
What's up, Blueberry?
KRM saying,
Doing
what's
well.
up, Blueberry? See, we got
Yeah,
Brian
we got the fam
says,
in the house.
yeah, I just had to replace the whole fuel system in it, was running bad gas at Grid Life. Also don't owe much on it, and once it's paid off, it's getting a cage and a diet. You're making payments on that Grid Life Civic? Wow, that's
Jesus.
okay. They've been
To
running
put it
that for
on
like
the-
4
to
years
put it on
now.
the grip.
That's awesome.
Some gangster.
Let's
stuff
see.
right there.
Are you joining in here, Scott, or?
Again,
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen.
I mean, I could. join
Thank
this.
you for being with me, but Scott's coming in.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to leave. I was just experimenting.
So we got a question from earlier. Is there any chance I could keep my tires, but change my wheel size?
Absolutely. When you say wheel size, you can go only as far as the tire will let you. So if you have a 19-inch, obviously you can't go to an 18-inch or a 20-inch, right? Can't change diameter. When it comes down to can you change the width of your wheel, the answer is yes, within acceptable ranges. And the easiest way to do it is to look up the tire size and the tire manufacturer and the tire model on the tire manufacturer's website. And there's going to be a column there that says approved rim width. As long as you're within that kind of that area, then you should be okay. Yeah.
Blueberry says Papa Scott in the house.
What up? What's
What's
happening?
up, Blueberry?
How are you?
Let's see, the timing of my, KRM says the timing of my buddy's incident, his buddy's in the hospital right now.
Oh, that's
He got a Volkswagen Golf 8 literally 2 days ago. Nice.
Yeah, they can
That's
still hear
awesome.
me with this thing, right? This
Yeah, yeah.
So you'd rather than hold it.
Oh, we got plenty of wheels for a Golf, by the way. Volkswagen Golf, come on.
Yeah, pretty much everything we make.
Everything.
Yeah.
Let's see,
pretty
we got, when the car payment's low, it gives me more money for other things.
Yeah.
I hear
yeah.
that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Unfortunately, everything else is expensive, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Are you guys going to be in?
Well, one second. I'm going to throw one more thing as long as we're talking about expensive. By the way, today is the last day that the pricing for our wheels is before the price increase. So if you were thinking about buying any of our wheels, phone a friend. Today is the day you're going to want to do it. Tomorrow, you may see prices kind of go up a little bit.
On all dealers or just our website?
Probably on all dealers.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, actually, there's another question I was just about to ask. How much are you guys going to increase by a percentage because of tariffs?
Yeah. So 18% is the number we're going up. I'm not happy about it. In fact, I'm really kind of bitter about it. It's about as much as we can absorb. So just being totally transparent, because you guys are kind of our dudes and dudettes. But basically the deal is that we obviously have 25% tariff because the wheels are made external to the United States, like 99% of all the world's wheels. We are not in China, so we're not affected with that debacle, but there's still 25%. And in addition to the 25%, aluminum has taken a little bit of an increase, and in addition to that, we've had issues with supply chain, which has caused the price to go up in some of the supply chain stuff. So the most we can absorb is kind of in that, 12, 14, 15%, and that's still not comfortable, but like we'll do that, and that unfortunately leaves us with about an 18% increase.
Jason with a follow-up question. Is the percentage increase temporary?
I hope so. The problem that here's, I don't really like to get into kind of economical, political things, but here's the reason that, I've heard this comment a lot, and it's true to a point. People say prices go up, they never come back down, right? There's a reason for that. I think a lot of people want to point and say things like corporate greed, but there's really another reason for it, and it has to do with operational costs and fixed expenditures. And so basically what ends up happening is, costs go up for a certain amount of time, and they go up across the board, right? Everybody's prices go up. Your chicken's more money, your toilet paper's more money, your wheels are more money, etc. What ends up happening is at some point, people get raises to reflect that, right? Or salaries go up across the board in different areas. And then what ends up happening is, you can't ever bring those salaries back down, right? In the same respect, operational costs, expenses, utilities, all these different things, they go up. And then sometimes, again, that stuff gets built in and they don't come back down. So what happens is, and we saw this the first time, we had the big aluminum increase, in the first round of tariffs in 18, 19, 20, and then what ends up happening is aluminum comes back down, but the operational costs that are built in, rents, different things like that, they have now gone up so much that material costs came down, operational costs went up. I really hope they're temporary. I hope that this is something that the administration eases off on like they've done for some other things. I don't have any inkling or any warm feeling that they're actually going to reduce the auto parts thing. I think it's part of more of a global, more permanent situation, at least under this administration. So I don't have super high hopes, but yeah, that's a long-winded answer, but.
Here's a good question. Giant T asks, in your last video, you guys mentioned you don't make in China. Is that
Right.
true?
True. It's not that, so let me be clear because I want to give you a complete answer. We haven't made in China. I think I started pulling I pulled whatever was left in our Suzhou factory, because remember, we're a little bit different than a lot of other companies. A lot of other companies are technically importers in the sense that they just buy wheels from whatever factories they work with, and they go looking for factories, and it's kind of like just like they're making wheels for them. We're owned by a company that is the manufacturer, so we had 3 facilities across the world, and with that said, we had the option to be able to pivot to other countries. Now, most wheel companies won't be able to pivot. There just isn't enough wheel production external to China, unfortunately. They're also the highest end of the technological pool there as far as being, really state of the art. I know it's hard to think because you hear a lot of things about China being crap quality, but truth is, I personally blame a lot of the quality issues on the importer. I really feel that it's your job as an importer, if that's what you're doing, to double check the products and make sure you're finding a manufacturer that can make a product to a certain specification. In the absence of doing that, I think you get whatever shows up. So now let's talk about the China thing. Yeah, our Suzhou factory, we had moved everything we had over to our other two factories at the time, and so we've been outside of China, just whatever it may be. All our factories are very state of the art type factories. That's not a thing. We control the QC. The QC kind of goes wherever we bring our wheels. We have our own standards, and the factory certainly has very conservative standards as well. So I hope that answers your question.
Brian asks, is there going to be a bump in shipping prices as well, or no change with shipping prices?
It's an interesting question. I mean, so here's the thing. I think for your FedEx and your UPS, we've seen a sharp increase over the past couple months. And I think that on the local side here, I think you will see an increase. In fact, we've already seen it. On the ocean freight and kind of those shipping rates, to be honest with you, in the absence of having a lot of goods, some of that stuff started to actually go down. Now, that's really good for the short term, but the long term is going to be more startling effect that we really don't know about. And that's because you're playing a game of dominoes. So all of a sudden the price drops because there's nobody importing things. It's too expensive. They don't know about these tariffs. So there's a lot of shock and awe, and shock and awe creates this paralyzation by not doing anything. At some point, you're going to see, like, especially in this 90-day pause for people in China, you may see rates skyrocket because now you're going to try to have everybody trying to get stuff out in the 90 days in case it doesn't get done. I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I think rates are going to kind of hold the same for ocean and maybe some of the air stuff, but all your parcel, your UPS, your FedEx, I think when you start to get quotes from your parts websites or whatever you're buying from, I think you're going to see that increase is going to be there if it's not already.
All right, last call for questions. Anybody got any more comments or questions for Scott?
Yeah.
Put them in the comments.
What you got?
Trular says, when are you guys getting some wider rims, like 10-inch plus? I've noticed most of them max out at 9.5. I can't fit any of these on my SL500.
Okay. A couple things. The first thing is we make a lot of wheels that are bigger than 10 inches. We go up to 12 inches. When we talk about an SL500, you're now talking about a very, very specific application that requires you to have a 5112. Depending on what year it is, it might have to have a big hub clearance. And in addition to that, you're going to probably need something that's got has a much higher offset than most of the stuff that we're going to make, because there's a very, very specific fitment that car requires. You could DM us. I'm going to guess that you probably have already or tried to reach out to us, and we just don't have the right fitment for your vehicle. Doesn't mean we won't ever, but especially the Ford stuff, we have some flexibility there. So if you want to reach back out to us, if you haven't already, we could try to look through it and see if we have anything.
What bull pattern is that?
5112.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, this is a good question. In your opinion, do you think free shipping will be a thing of the past in the coming years?
It's a good question. We're actually just launching. We're getting ready to launch a new Mamba off-road site. We have a truck brand that we use, Mamba Off-Road, and we're actually getting ready to launch a new website, and we're trying to figure that out right now. Like, what's the best way to do it? I think that free shipping for the Amazon stuff. How do I say this? First off, you should know that there is no such thing as free shipping. You're paying for it one way or another. I mean, either you're paying a higher price on a product, or you're paying for it, flat out at the end. But at the end of the day, I mean, I promise you're paying shipping, no matter what it is. No company can afford just to eat the shipping all the way across the board, unless maybe they're selling little tiny items or paper, right? Now, when it comes down to this, do I think it will be a thing of the past? No, I don't think it will be a thing of the past. I just think that you're going to see the free shipping be with companies that have more margin to be able to absorb the free freight, or you're going to see, some sort of gimmicky things, which is something we were just talking about right now. We're thinking with the Mamba site that maybe we would do something where if you buy a fifth wheel, like you buy a spare, then maybe we'll give you free shipping for a limited time and kind of see how that works. So I don't think it's a thing of the past. I just think it's going to have nuances.
Nice. Second comment like this on the stream. Love the new website.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's been up for a few months. We're It's getting better and better, and we're doing more and more, and we have a lot of development in the works for it. We have this really cool gallery we're working on, and we have a much better dealer locator and some different things and some extra media that we're going to incorporate. But it just takes time. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Follow-up comment from this person, Jamie,
Yep.
says, you guys should upload a way that I can view wheels on my car on your site.
Yeah, so there's something like called augmented reality, and that's what people tend to use to do that. I don't think it's very good. I've seen really great models that it actually works on, but I just think for the everyday person, it doesn't work. It works in good. I just don't think it's the best way of doing it.
Yes.
I know it's something that we wish we could do. We all wish that we could have you pull up and we can just put wheels onto your car until you found the one you like. But it's a tough thing. Noted. Hopefully in the future that will happen.
Paperboy says, sponsor me. I'm dope AF.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if that's your proposal, it's intriguing.
Maybe though, you never know.
Right.
You know, send us
Yeah.
the sponsorship
There you
proposal.
go.
CLT Brian says, more merch coming. We do
Yes.
need some new merch.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were actually having that conversation last week, and we're actually just debating like how much merch we want to actually go with. But we have some stuff, and we'll see. Hopefully, in the next few months, you're going to start to see some of that stuff hit the site.
Blueberry says, Scott, big website guy.
He is?
No, you are.
Oh, I don't know about big website guy, but I try. Struggling right now, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Hector says, I screenshotted the wheels and sticker them on my pictures to see how they look.
That's actually not a bad
That's
idea.
not a bad idea,
I'll
actually.
tell you what I personally do. What I personally do is I usually take a picture of the side of my car, and then I just Photoshop the wheels onto it. That's kind of the easiest
Yeah, but you're
way.
good with Photoshop.
I am. Yeah, I am, but I'm just telling you what I do. I mean, now they have all these programs. They have Photoshop Lite and all these different things.
True. They got AI
I mean,
now.
hell, that you can even take a picture with your camera phone and hold your finger on it. Doesn't it separate the background?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
I
you
do
got-
that with
you got options
with
there.
baby pictures.
Yeah.
Hector, backpacks?
I don't know. That's it. We had tote bags for a while.
I mean, if you want to make a backpack, what are you going to...
I like backpacks. I'll tell you what I really want. First thing is I want a beanie because I like wearing them during the winter. And second thing, I think we need like a light jacket, like a light windbreaker type jacket. I think that would be fun. I know we're working on t-shirts. I know we're working on we're looking for a cheaper t-shirt with a decent quality because we want to be able to give you something that's more like what we give to the sponsored drivers, which is basically just like a Konig across the chest, but something that you can get like super cheap, like $12.99 or something like that. Buy a bunch of those t-shirts if you want to go out and work on the car or whatever it is, kind of a garage t-shirt. So we're working on that. We're working on a more upper end design. I don't know. We got stuff.
Brian says, I find it weird that I ask questions and you guys just so happen to have stuff in the works usually.
I think because a lot of the things that we get suggested, I think are things that make sense, and we always want to do stuff. The problem with us in the works is that like it's not about like it only takes like what a couple days for us to develop a shirt. Problem is that in those couple of days we're gonna have 1,700 other projects that bump it. So we start working on it, then it comes back, then we wait to the next meeting. That's why it just takes a long time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rise VTech Mario Maroney says, I'd totally rock a Koenig beanie.
Nice, right?
Yeah,
I'm telling
I
you,
would.
like,
Yeah.
I
What
feel
color
like-
though? Black?
I mean, well, I'm maybe not the best one to ask for that. I wear most of the stuff black.
No, I'd rock it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Blueberry says Koenig race suit. I
Oh
like
my
that.
God,
I
that's
like that idea.
expensive. Be dope.
I like that.
Let us know.
idea.
We'll send you a
Yeah,
patch.
I'll wear it when
Yeah.
I'm on my
I
sim
think
rig.
we still have Koenig patches for the race suits.
Let's see. Let's get out of here. We're good.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry I was a little late, but Luis held it down as he always does.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget this Friday we have a piece of content. I think it's Carnatomy, am I right?
It's a good car anatomy with
Yeah,
Caleb
Caleb
Quanbeck,
Quanbeck.
sick E46.
Yeah.
Really good.
So that's the Carnatomy that's coming out on Friday. Don't forget to get subscribed to our YouTube channel. That's where all the cool stuff happens. I know that wheels are a little bit more delayed than we ever anticipated. I promise they're coming. It sucks. Anyhow.
We believe in you, Scott. We
If
believe in you.
you are going to be getting a set of wheels, today is the day that you want to do it. Tomorrow there's going to be a price increase. I said that before. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Do me a favor. If you were gonna buy a set of wheels, I'm not trying to coerce you to buy wheels, but if you were going to buy wheels, today's the day. get them while they're going. Cause
Got one more comment for
good.
you. We got a couple people in here saying Konig
Yep.
patches. I would totally rock Konig patches. Please,
Okay.
Konig patches.
Let me see what we have. Maybe I'll put them on the website just so that it's easier to grab them.
We should also, because I love patches too. You gotta have them Velcro backed, so you can
So we don't do Velcro back because they tend to not work on the race suits. The race suits, they
totally.
have
That
to
makes
stitch them
sense.
in.
Yeah. And then last one, Hector says a Konig backpack would be too sick. Put Konig on one of the shoulder straps, the Konig text logo, and then the crown logo on the bag.
Like
That's
that.
cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Nice one,
I
Hector.
don't know. I could be convinced for some backpacks.
All right, one more, last final one.
All right.
Mark from the UK says, "Can I get Hyperspecs 15.8 in the UK?"
You can when they're available. You will want to get them through racingwheels.eu. That's Wyborg Engineering. They'll get them to you. They are based out of Sweden, but the truth of the matter is they have the largest amount of stock in Europe, and he has already figured out a way to get them to you affordably. So
Nice.
hit them up, speak to them ahead of time, but understand the wheels are going to be delayed a little bit. I mean, they are delayed right now.
What's the
So-
UPS? What's the European equivalent of UPS or FedEx?
I know they use DHL a lot over there.
Right, right.
I think they still have FedEx over there. And I'm sure that there's some cool European alternatives that I just don't know about, right?
Yeah.
So, I
All
don't
right,
know.
we're good to go.
All right, take care of yourself. We'll catch you next week.